Hello everyone. Today we are talking about the famous play by William Shakespeare, that is Macbeth. As we know, Macbeth is also known as the Scottish play or the shortest tragedy by William Shakespeare. This is a highly regarded piece of literature and is published in 1623. Before starting the story of the play, we should know about the source of the play. The source of the play is Ralph Holinshed's The Chronicle of England, Scotland and Ireland. The setting of the play is in Scotland and England. We should also know about the main characters of the play. Here are some main characters of the play. First of all, we know about Duncan. Duncan is the king of Scotland who have two sons. First is Malcolm and second is Donald Bain. He also have two generals in his army. First is Macbeth and second is Banquo. Lady Macbeth is wife of Macbeth. Macduff is also the Thane of Fife and nobleman of Scotland. Flins is son of Banquo. Lady Macduff is wife of Macduff. We have also the characters named with three witches. We have another characters like Seward and Hackett. So let's begin the story. As we know that it is the shortest tragedy by William Shakespeare. The play revolves around Macbeth and his obsession with power, which leads to his fall. The first act of the play opens amidst thunder and lightning, with the three witches deciding that their next meeting shall be with Macbeth. As we know, Macbeth is introduced as a brave man who led King Duncan's forces to victory. On the another side, King Duncan of Scotland hears about the success of his generals Macbeth and Banquo, who have just defeated the invading armies from Ireland and Norway. The scene changes where Macbeth and Banquo enter discussing the weather and their victory, and they remarks, "So full and fair a day I have not seen." Actually, they were celebrating the victory of theirs where they defeated the traitors Thane of Cawdor, MacDonald, and the King of Norway. They come across to the witches, and the witches who foretell Macbeth and Banquo about their future. Three witches tells about their prophecies to Macbeth and Banquo. The first witch hails Macbeth as Thane of Glamis, the second witch hails Macbeth as Thane of Cawdor, the third witch hails Macbeth be the king hereafter. The witches also inform Banquo that he will further a line of a king, though he himself will not be the one. Banquo learns that his descendants shall be king. Banquo is suspicious of the three witches, remembering that they often trick men. The witches disappears, leaving both men skeptical at the pronouncement. Duncan sends a messenger to congratulate the two men for their victory and inform Macbeth that he has been named the Thane of Cawdor. Macbeth begins to harbor ambitions of becoming king. He writes to his wife about the witches' prophecies. He also informs her that King Duncan will arrive at the Macbeth castle at Inverness for dinner. Lady Macbeth wants Macbeth to become the king. She persuades him to assassinate Duncan and get the throne. Although Macbeth raises concern about the regicide, Lady Macbeth eventually persuades him by challenging his manhood to follow her plan. Both of them hatch a plot to kill Duncan. According to the plan, Lady Macbeth drugs King's Chamberlain. Now Macbeth enters the room where Duncan is sleeping and kills him. By this deed, Macbeth is afraid and so shaken that Lady Macbeth has to take the charge. She frames Duncan's sleeping servants for murder by planting bloody daggers on them. The next morning, when Macduff found Duncan's body, he rushed to question the Chamberlains, but in fear, Macbeth murders the guards before they can protest their innocence. Duncan's son Malcolm and Donald Bain run away from the country Macbeth assumes the throne as the new king of Scotland. Both Malcolm and Donalbain give Macbeth an ideal political arrangement to declare himself as the king. Now Macbeth tries to remember what the witches said about Banquo's future. He targets Banquo and employs a group of assassination to kill him and his son, Flints. Banquo gets killed, but Flints manages to escape. This makes Macbeth worry as he feels insecure. On another side, a celebratory feast is hosted in Macbeth's honor at the banquet. Banquo's ghost appears in the banquet and sits in Macbeth's place. The ghost frightens Macbeth, who is unable to control the situation. The Macbeth decides to visit the three witches again. This time, the witches tell him to beware Macbeth, but also that none of women born shall harm Macbeth, and he will never be until great Birnam Wood to hide Dunshane Hill shall come against him. The prophecies make Macbeth feel relieved and secure. Macbeth has left for England. Macbeth orders to seize all his family members, even his wife and his son, and kill all of them. When Macbeth learns that his family has been murdered, he vows revenge. Macbeth joins hands with Duncan's son Malcolm, who has been raising an army in England. The Scottish court disapproves Macbeth's ruling policies, so they also support Malcolm and Macbeth in their army. On another hand, Lady Macbeth becomes racked with guilt from the crime she and her husband have committed. She sleepwalks and tries to wash imaginary blood from her hands. She remarks, "Here is the smell of the blood. Still, all the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand." And second one is that what's done can't be undone. And she kills herself. On learning about his wife's news, Macbeth turns pale. He also delivers a soliloquy, "Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow." But he regains his strength. He sees the English army, shielded with Birnam Wood trees, advance toward Dunshane Castle. Macbeth is full of fear and anxiety. The battle begins. Macbeth walks towards Macbeth and tells him that he was from his mother's womb, untimely ripped, and was not of woman's born. But Macbeth is still thinking about fighting, and he fights until Macbeth cuts off his head in rage and fulfills the last of the prophecies. Although Malcolm is placed on the throne and not Flints. The witches' prophecies concerning Banquo, "Thou shalt get kings," was known to the audience Shakespeare time to be true, for James VI of Scotland was supposedly a descendant of Banquo, and the play ends with when Malcolm is placed on the throne. Now, Malcolm becomes the king of Scotland and announces his intention to govern the country with peace. He invites everyone to witness his crowning moment at Scone.